All right, about to express myself about the Sci-Fi Express lane, baby. About to go down the Sci-Fi Express lane. Jeff Carroll here, Sci-Fi Express lane. Today I want to talk about or express myself about a conversation that I was having about this new television show, Intergalactic, on Sci-Fi Channel, coming out of London. It's a British production, and it's a science fiction show. It takes place on other planets, right? It's intergalactic, right? It takes place into the galaxy. I've been joking with the Beastie Boys, talking about intergalactic. So I've been saying that all night since I watched the first 2 episodes. Anyway, the topic that I'm going to express myself on today is how hard is it to envision a world without jails? Now, how hard is it for anybody to envision a world without jails and prisons, lockdown, anything in a human world, right? How hard is it to envision a human world without jails? And what in the future or anywhere? And this is a world builder's question, because the world builders first have to conceive the world that the rest of us consumers go out and watch or enjoy, or believe, right? Accept, whatever you want to call it. So the world builders have to conceive this thing. And to be honest, human civilization is always our starting point. Like, what do we do now? And then what have we done in the past is kind of what will get people to accept whatever you want them to do in the future as a writer, as a creator. Now, you can go opposite, right? You can go opposite and say, hey, this is a utopian world where they have gotten past it. Like, I think Logan's Run was a utopia that was sort of like that. That kind of is like, Logan's Run is like the benchmark of utopias, you know what I'm saying? And then you found out that it's really a worse world than the world we're living in now. Not to spoil it for you, but that's it. So it almost becomes an unbelievable joke to imagine something kind of without jails. But, the reality of human civilizations is that we're, as Americans, on a land that didn't have jails. Native Americans have no records of jails. They have no records of incarceration. They had large civilizations. In Atlanta, they had over 1 million people, 2 million people living amongst the mound builders, the pyramid builders of that region. It was on record before even Columbus had come here. There was over 285 mounds found along the Mississippi. So that mound builder culture wasn't small. We always think of Native Americans were having, like, at best, maybe a couple of thousand living in teepees, traveling around. And that was, probably out on the plains where they didn't even live, up in the north where they were battling the elements. But a lot of those tribes were displaced and relocated from other areas. So the older Native American elements are there. So you have that. You have West Africans, right? From probably all the way down to South Africa. No record of jails. No record of jails, right? I don't know if Indian culture had jails. I'm willing to say they didn't. Well, what I'm showing is when you have 2 continents, North America, South America, and even parts of Africa, right, that have no record of this phenomenon. And I don't even know if the Nile Valley, our earthly utopia, right? Everybody says, oh, you got these hoteps, I'm a hotep, right? Who praise Egypt. I almost want to say, people that use Egypt as an example, it's almost like people discredit them. Like, all right, we ain't going to talk about Egypt. Egypt did everything. They had open heart surgery, they built pyramids, they knew pi, mathematics. Okay, we get it. They were so smart, just wondering how we got so dumb after the fall of the civilization. And if you study history, you can see how it fell. Anyway, they may not have had jails. So if at best, we'll say, or at least, we'll say a third of Earth didn't have jails for a long period of time. Now, Native Americans survived up until maybe 500, 450 years ago. Maybe the expansion of the West, that the Harder They Fall time period in the post-1800s, after America became the 13 states or whatever we were after we won the Civil War, the Revolutionary War, and then we started expanding, doing that Lewis and Clark thing and going west. Native Americans held it down. It may not have been jails, right, up until maybe 200 years ago in this land, right? Spanish Inquisition, and then the expansion of the West kind of took them out. But up until about 200, let's say 250 years ago, they didn't have jails in their culture, which was a large part. So why is it so hard for us to imagine a world without jails? So that's a long-ass introduction. Pardon that preamble. I'm studying that in my English class. Why is it so hard? This story, Intergalactic, is about, at least it starts off with convicts, right? Criminals, or convicted people going to jail. And it centers around that, right? I don't know if we see the jail or whatever, but either way, it's a big factor. This futuristic world, 23 something in the future has a jail. And I always damn, I know I was hard on what is the movie Doom, because humans still hadn't gotten past certain things, mostly their anger, aggression, and war, which again is relegated to a certain group of human tribes that didn't get over it. So why, that's why I'm kind of looking at this intergalactic and this thing of jails come up. And what I think, here's my answer, right? Is that one, jails represent bad. And it's a really cool element to show somebody is bad or there's a threat if your world has a jail, if your character goes to jail. I don't even think, a hero is a hero if there's not a villain that should go to jail at the end. I don't even think Batman would be Batman if he ran around and gave people therapy and he had a camp for, wayward children and helped them get on the right track. He got enough money to do it, right? He was like, no, don't kill him. I'm going to get him. Forget Arkham Asylum. We're going to Bat Camp. Bat Camp for bad kids, right? Don't steal the idea. It's crazy. But imagine if Gotham didn't have a jail. How could Batman be Batman, right? So it's just very hard for us to imagine a world where we've gotten past jail management for bad or dysfunctional or, deviant behavior. Because that's really all it is. My school has an internal suspension, and you don't have an ID, you don't have the dress code, you was fighting. What else can you go there for? You cursed teacher out. Any type of deviant behavior, off to IS, right? And I used to run IS for like a year and a half. And I used to tell kids, this isn't pre-jail. This isn't jail conditioning. You know, humans can grow without having to go through jail-like discipline. Most of the time, jail isn't a rehabilitation place. It's a punishment place. And punishment has a large variety of applications. Now, here's the thing. Do I believe in jails? Do I believe in punishment? For people who haven't been raised properly and grow up and kill people and grow up and rob people, who grow up into deviant behavior, heck yeah. But the deviant behavior warrants the jail, and the deviant behavior was, in my opinion, created by a dysfunctional family and society. So if we can solve the society and the family problems, then we will address the deviant behavior, because that's, to me, the problem. I mean, we always joke about these nice neighborhoods and these wild kids, but that's because in a nice neighborhood, people are raised nice and they shouldn't be wild. Then when we micro-investigate, we find that it was a nice neighborhood with wild family involved in the neighborhood. So there you have it. Or somebody was a nice family and the environment corrupted the children. So to me, I don't ever accept that evil, deviant behavior, whatever the heck you want to call it, is organic. I don't think it is natural, right? Now, even if you can prove that it's natural, I believe that, like the Native Americans, West Africans, right? You can have a society where you can address that deviant behavior. Good parenting, slap on the wrist, a little loud voice, proper modeling, and you have a child that doesn't have a deviant element to him. Not yelling, correct discipline, things like that. That's what I believe. So, you know, when these children, like we have this Kyle Rittenhouse on trial, you know, his mother raised him. His father probably didn't raise him, but he was given guidance into that deviant behavior, and it wasn't addressed. So that's my feeling. I do think parents are the biggest factors, but environment is also a factor, so I'm not going to deny that. So if we address those two things and get those things in order, we won't have it. But then the other thing is, outside of the impossibility of that happening in reality, or the difficulty of making those things happen in reality, then you also have the other element, which is the writing to be entertaining. And that's, you know, the Batman without the Arkham Asylum. How? You know, how do you write something like that? I am talking about it, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. You know, all of my worlds don't warrant a jail. Sometimes, like in my Harlem Shake, it's post-apocalypse, so there ain't even no jails anymore. But, you know, it's Wild Wild West. You killing person and you taking them out. And maybe that's what, you know, other cultures may have done. But, you know, even Native Americans don't have a death punishment, you know what I'm saying? Or even West Africans, you know, they beat you down, you know, now, but they didn't have a history of even doing that. You know what I'm saying? They would put you through trials. They would give you a task to go about that would, in a more academic world, address your deviant behavior. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's really, oh man, right where I gotta go is a big accident. Like the last exit before I get off is an accident. Anyway, I'm glad I'm not in it. God bless those people that were in it. And that's it. But I will say, I'm trying to think, like, either in jail is like something that I don't even like talking about. So that's probably why I don't write about it, you know. But I'm trying to think. I don't even know any of my stories that have jails in it. Most of my stories, Rashida Zombie Killer, she's taking out zombies. Thug Angel, he's taking out vampires and werewolves. Negro Mountain is just ghost dealing with everybody. Harlem Shake, Boss Lady's Planet is a whole war. And most of the time they address it, they kill the killer, and they take it out. But yeah, I gotta wonder. I don't have any. I wonder if black people don't have jails like that. Do their characters take people to jail? That would be really wild to find out that we don't have that. Anyway, that's it. I just wanted to throw the conversation out there and see what springs up. All right, the subject and the question is raised. Enjoy your day as I will enjoy mine.